Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are sharing our installation process for two products that were sent to us from the folks at AIRLOCK USA, the AIRLOCK One and the AIRLOCK Voyage. For those of you that have not heard of these products before, AIRLOCK One is a compact, maintenance-free air purifier designed for boats and RVs that installs directly into the AC system to eliminate odors, mold, bacteria, and allergens. Using bipolar ionization, it releases ions that break down pollutants and neutralize musty smells at the source without using fragrances or filters. AIRLOCK Voyage is a compact, portable air purifier designed for small, enclosed spaces on boats and RVs, such as kitchen areas, bathrooms, and storage areas. It uses ion technology to neutralize odors and freshen air in areas up to 4 feet that the main system, AIRLOCK One, might miss. It can be plugged into wall outlets, or it also comes with a DC adapter. Real quick, before we jump into the video, I need to explain something. It has been very dark, dismal, and damp this spring in Pennsylvania. Just unbelievably yuck. And of course, on installation day, we had some rain while we were inside doing the installation, so you are going to hear those noisy raindrops pinging off the roof of the travel trailer. If you have a trailer, I don't need to explain it further. It's crazy how loud it can get. So you are unfortunately going to be hearing that throughout the video. It's not too distracting, I promise, but I just wanted you to know what the sound was in case you were wondering. Now let's get into this. One more quick thing about our installation, the process that we decided to go with. If you get the power off the main feed, the AIRLOCK will run constantly, as in 100% of the time when your RV is hooked up to power. And from dewinterization in early spring here to winterization in late fall, we are plugged in constantly whenever we're here at the house. So after watching a few videos, Dan made the decision to connect through the hot wire that feeds the fan. This means that the AIRLOCK One will only be turned on when the fan to the air conditioner is actually running.
The first step we want to do is go to our breaker panel and find the AC unit, which is right here. It's a 20 amp breaker, and we want to turn that off. Next step we're going to do is take the filter panel off, and we have to take these two clips out so we can access the screws. We're just going to go in here. We have 4 Phillips head screws. This will allow us to pull this panel loose. And there's 2 clips right here. Just release those. Next thing we want to do is remove this plastic cover so we can access the wiring. So there's 2 ways to mount the AIRLOCK. One is with the supplied magnet, and it has an adhesive strip back here. So what you can do is just place this on the inside of the box with the magnetic strip, and then it just secures like that. We're going to mount ours up here. There's some type of framing behind here that holds this whole box in, so we're going to use a couple of long drywall screws and go through this insulation into the wood framing behind here to hold this box in place. And then we're going to go ahead and get this level and use our marker and mark where we're going to put our screw holes. All right, our next step is we need to take our wires from our AIRLOCK and feed it up into the box here. There's already an opening for the wires to go through. So what we're going to do is just going to take these and feed them through. It's a little bit of a tight space, but we got one through. Okay, and we're going to leave a little bit of this slack like this because we're going to zip tie it up and tuck it back up into here. So we just want enough wire here to go ahead and wire what we need over on this side. So we're not going to use these connectors here. We're going to use a T connector. So we're just going to snip these off as close as we can to this connection point. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to strip the insulation from the wire. So what we have is a T-tap connector that we're going to use in conjunction with one of these that will splice right into our hot wire, our red wire. We just place this over the end of the wire. Give it a little twist to tighten it up. Next thing we're going to do is take our wire splicing connector and place it over the red wire, which is the low speed fan. All right, now we can plug our connector into the red wire. So what we did was we tapped into this red wire here, and we unplugged it before we tapped into it, and we just plugged it back in right in this spot right here. Now we have the black wire coming from the AIRLOCK, which is the neutral wire. So what we want to do is snip this connector off also. Then we're going to strip some insulation from the wire. The next thing we're going to do is we have a double gang WAGO connector here, and we're going to pull this off. This is the neutral wire coming from the Romex wiring and the ceiling. So we're going to pull that off. So next we're going to connect the neutral wires from the air conditioner with the neutral wire for the AIRLOCK. We're going to use what's called a WAGO connector. There's the name on it. So when you use these, you want to pull these little tabs back a full 90 degrees. And then what we'll do is we'll take each individual wire and stick them in that, and then close the little tabs. All right, we have one down. We're going to do, this is from the AIRLOCK. Okay, got two solid connections. Now we're going to go up and connect the ground wire. And we're now connected. So we're just going to tuck these wires back up inside. So while we have this down, you can see there's just a little bit of dirt on this grill. So we're just going to take a wipe and just wipe it down a little bit, get all the film and dirt off there. And we'll just go ahead and reinstall. Using the original screws.
So you can see by looking at the airlock, the fan right now is not running in the AC, and the light on the airlock is not turned on, so that tells us it is not running right now. That's exactly what we were hoping to accomplish by installing it the way that Dan installed it. And you just want to remind everybody how you wired that in so that it would not run all the time.
So yeah, basically what we did is we used the low fan speed wiring so that it only runs when the unit is on. You can actually wire it so it runs constantly, but you have to run it through the main power source from the rooftop unit. We didn't want to do that because we wanted it just to run while we were while the unit was on. So our final step is just to put the filter back on, and that just snaps right in place. And the installation is complete, and we'll see how things go.
Okay, I admit, Dan did most of the work with the AIRLOCK One, so I'm going to handle the AIRLOCK Voyage. And here it is, plug and play. Sit it down on your counter and you are good to go. They also included a couple options in the packaging. If you do want to mount it, there are some suction cups that have hooks on them, as well as double-sided adhesive pad if you want to connect that to the bottom side and maybe attach it to a wall or the underside of the cabinet. I like the idea of being able to move it around within the RV, whether I want to clean the air in the kitchen or in the bathroom. It's as simple as unplugging and replugging and just setting it on a flat surface. So let's go get this plugged in. I'm in the middle of cleaning out our trailer, getting it ready for a camping trip this coming weekend, and I decided just to plug this in here in the bathroom counter to see how it works. And you can see it doesn't take up much space at all. I'm going to be quiet for just a moment so you can hear how quiet it is. So very little noise coming from this thing. You could absolutely leave it plugged in all night and it's not going to disturb you. So we want to talk briefly about what we thought about this installation process. You're the one that did the majority of the work. I was the camera person. So do you want to talk a little bit about the hiccups?
Yeah, we went into this installation kind of blind. I did watch a few videos before the installation, but there really weren't a lot of good videos that went through all the details of the installation, especially the wiring. I did find a video that had a different AC unit. I believe it was a Coleman, but there was one specific video that had the same AC unit that we have, but the YouTuber didn't have a lot of details on the actual wiring. So that's what we tried to provide here, is more detailed filming of the wiring. That was the biggest hiccup, trying to find something to go by, because it really there really isn't a lot of good information from AIRLOCK as far as details. They kind of guide you to go through some videos, which we did, but
like pointing back to actual users like us that have installed it themselves and go by what they do. And that's understandable, because it seemed like a lot of the stuff on the AIRLOCK site was geared more towards the marine side of things than the RV side.
Yes. So once I kind of took two different videos and kind of got a little bit of information from each video, and we were able to determine just what we needed to do with the wiring. And once we figured that out, it was really pretty simple. It didn't take long after that. The other thing we kind of ran into a little bit of difficulty is with the Wago nuts. That was the first time I ever used one.
These guys.
I'm not an electrician. We're just kind of handy persons. We like to do things on our own. But we couldn't get the wires to connect inside. They wouldn't stay, and we found out that you have to open,
like, it has to be open like this at a 90-degree angle.
So we were just opening them just a little bit, and it didn't give enough room for the wire to slide the whole way down. And
so that was frustrating, because we didn't know what was going on.
Once we did that, the installation was simple. And so really from the start to the end, having the knowledge we have now, we could do this installation in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It took us longer because we didn't know what we were doing, but we're kind of hoping this video helps.
If you hit any hiccups along the way, drop it in the comments. We will definitely respond. Again, keeping in mind we are not experts when it comes to electrical, but after figuring out all those little strange glitches that we encountered along the way, like he said, now it's like maybe 15 minutes to get it installed. Super quick. The other thing we want to remind you guys is that all AC units are different. Yours may not install the same way that ours did, so it's definitely something to keep in mind. But YouTube is a great place to find information you're looking for, and you're likely to find somebody else that has your same AC unit. So if our video doesn't help you, go out there and look. There's bound to be somebody else that had yours that has a video showing you how to do it. But that was basically it. So and all in all, we actually got through it okay. Like, it was just, it was frustrating at times, but now that we know what we're doing, it would be a very quick process, I think. Anything else you want to add?
We just look forward to our first camping trip, and we'll be able to follow up and let you know how how it works, if it delivers the fresh air that it claims it does.
So we're going to be using it all camping season long, as well as the other device that they gave us, and I will share that information with you guys as well. We'll be using it all summer long, and we will definitely report back to you guys later in the season or at the end of the season to let you know what our thoughts are on AIRLOCK's Air One system. We hope today's video was helpful. If so, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
We'll see y'all.